The wave of anti-government protests continues to sweep across the Middle East. White House officials are paying particular attention to Iran. CNN's Jill Doherty reports.
Is this what the Obama administration hopes could be the next people's revolution? Iranian police clashed with demonstrators on the streets of Tehran, and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton connects the dots with Egypt's revolution.
We wish the opposition and the brave people in the streets across cities in Iran, the same opportunity that they saw their Egyptian counterparts seize in the last week.
As Iranian police round up activists, the State Department begins tweeting encouraging messages in the Farsi language, telling Iranians, "We want to join in your conversation." Just days after a revolution toppled Egypt's longtime ruler, Hosni Mubarak, unrest is rippling through the region, and the U.S. is trying to figure out how to handle it. In Algeria, protesters clash with security forces, and the State Department proclaims their support for the universal rights of the Algerian people, adding, "These rights apply on the internet." The government of Syria puts a blogger on trial for espionage. The State Department calls for her freedom. In Jordan, the chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff and a top State Department official meet with King Abdullah II to show support for the new government he swore in following anti-government protests. Yet nothing is settled in Egypt. Trying to muster international support, President Obama has been speed dialing fellow leaders in Great Britain, Jordan, and Turkey to help keep pressure on the Egyptian military to turn a revolution into a real democracy. Secretary Clinton called the Egyptian foreign minister and her counterparts in 8 other countries. The tide of democracy opens opportunities, officials say, but a former CIA director says this is not a stack of dominoes.
The challenge is how does one manage that during the transition period so that you don't see some of the more radical, and unfortunately those are generally the best organized groups, seizing control, capturing the revolution, and taking it into a direction that's very dark.
Jill Doherty, CNN, the State Department.
Shauna Ford, a border vigilante, has been convicted of 2 counts of murder. The 43-year-old woman planned a home invasion where a 9-year-old girl, Brisenia Flores, and her father were killed. Prosecutors say Ford was after the man's money. Ford assumed the man she killed was a drug dealer and believed he had $4,000 in cash in the house.
A Prince George's County official is being accused of flushing evidence down the toilet. Jack Johnson, a Prince George's County executive, and his wife, Leslie, a newly elected county council member, were charged with bribery, conspiracy, and extortion yesterday. Johnson tried to get rid of other evidence by asking his wife to hide money in her underwear. A 5-year-long FBI investigation connected the couple to real estate developers who bribed officials in exchange for personal favors.
An American University student is directing a play called Hearts and Minds. It comes to DC's Capitol Auditorium in March after premiering in London. Aisha Chowdhury has the story.
The U.S. military calls its mission in Iraq and Afghanistan Winning Hearts and Minds. Jose Morales Jr. is a sophomore at American University. He has taken up a different kind of project this semester. He's directing a play about post-9/11 fear of Muslims. The play is called Hearts and Minds. The play started in London and is being sponsored by American University Players, a student-run group that puts together shows throughout the year. The cost is just $5 a ticket, and it will premiere at the Capitol Auditorium located off of Wisconsin Avenue on March 31st.
It's not just a play, it's a call to action, and kind of reminding everyone that the civil rights war that's going on in this country isn't over.
And even though this is a fairly sensitive topic, it did not stop students from auditioning.
And the main character, who is who's written to be Pakistani, our main character is white. And when we approached him about the role, he was open to dyeing his hair and wearing a little bit of makeup, but we casted it perfectly so that his mother is white but Pakistani, and his father is more fair-skinned, darker than me, and Pakistani. And it's just kind of a wake-up call to the audience that don't believe everything you see.
This play will premiere in the United States for the very first time here in the nation's capital. American University will be hosting 9 shows this semester. And if you happen to miss the March 31st show, you can catch up on April 1st and April 2nd. From Washington, D.C., I'm Aisha Chowdhury.
Coming up after the break, computers go head-to-head with humans. What was once science fiction is now science fact on Jeopardy! The question is, can the computer win? And saying goodbye to a good haircut. After 51 years in business, one Tinleytown barber is being asked to close shop. Learn why he is leaving and what store is moving in. We've got the story.
And Zoo Atlanta announces its new star. At least he's named after one. We'll have more after the break.